Have you ever felt completely lost, even with a GPS in your hand? Imagine navigating thousands of miles across the open ocean with nothing but the stars, the wind, and the water. It sounds impossible, right? But for centuries, Polynesian wayfinders did just that. They were the masters of the Pacific, settling a vast triangle of islands from Hawaii to New Zealand to Easter Island, all without a single modern instrument. Today, we are going to dive deep into their incredible story and uncover a shocking truth. In some ways, these ancient mariners could see the ocean better than our most advanced satellite radar systems. How did they do it? The answer lies in what they called the waters and memory, and a form of forgotten biological engineering that allowed them to read signals lost to modern technology. So let's start with our modern marvels. We have GPS, satellites, and sophisticated oceanic radar. These systems bounce signals off the water's surface to detect ships, measure wave heights, and map currents. They're amazing, but they have a critical blind spot. It's like trying to understand a crowd's mood by only listening to the loudest person shouting. It misses the deeper, more fundamental patterns. And this is where our story takes a fascinating turn. If a small island, just a tiny speck in the vast blue, is hundreds of miles away, our multi-million-dollar radar systems might not see it at all. The curvature of the Earth hides it from view. But for the ancient Polynesians, that island wasn't invisible. It was broadcasting its location across the ocean, and they knew how to listen. How? Through the swells. Forget the choppy, wind-driven waves on the surface. We're talking about deep-sea swells, long, powerful, and incredibly consistent waves of energy that travel for thousands of miles across the ocean. These swells are generated by distant, massive storm systems. As they move, they maintain their direction with incredible precision. A wayfinder could feel these swells, even in the dead of night, distinguishing between the primary swell from a far-off storm and secondary swells that had bounced off distant landmasses. This is the water's memory. An island, even one far over the horizon, disrupts the perfect pattern of a deep-sea swell. The energy of the wave bends around the island, a phenomenon called diffraction, and it also reflects off the coastline. This creates a faint, but readable, interference pattern in the water, a shadow or a rebound swell. To a trained navigator, this subtle change in the ocean's rhythm was a clear signpost, pointing directly toward land that was still days away. To detect these incredibly subtle signals, Polynesian navigators turned their own bodies and their canoes into a highly sensitive biological instrument. This is the forgotten biological engineering we mentioned. The traditional Polynesian voyaging canoe, or vaka, was a masterpiece of design. Its twin hulls, lashed together with coconut fiber rope, were flexible. The entire vessel would move and respond to the swells, acting as an extension of the navigator's own senses. A master wayfinder, a po, would spend hours, sometimes days, simply lying on the deck. They weren't sleeping. They were feeling. They could feel the subtle lift and fall of the canoe, discerning the direction of multiple swells at once. Some accounts even mention navigators feeling the pressure changes on their testicles to sense the faintest of wave patterns. Their entire body was a finely tuned sensor array, processing data that our digital instruments, focused only on the surface, completely miss. They weren't just on the ocean. They were in conversation with it. But the swells were only one part of this incredible navigational system. The other half was written in the sky. The Polynesians had a profound and intricate knowledge of the stars. They didn't just know a few constellations. They had a mental map of the entire celestial sphere. This was their star compass. They knew the precise points on the horizon where specific stars would rise and set throughout the year. For example, to sail from Tahiti to Hawaii, a journey of over 2,500 miles, a navigator would keep a specific steering star, like Arcturus, just off the canoe's bow. As the Earth rotated and that star climbed too high in the sky, they would seamlessly switch to the next star rising from the same point on the horizon, and then the next, following a chain of celestial guides through the night. This wasn't just about north, south, east, and west. Their star compass had at least 32 distinct points, each marked by a rising or setting star, giving them incredible directional precision. What about when it was cloudy? This is a question that stumps many people, but the Wayfinders had an answer for that too. They were masters of observing their entire environment. They could read the wind. They knew the prevailing trade winds for each season and each region of the ocean. They could feel a slight shift in wind direction and know what it meant. They also observed the clouds. Certain types of clouds tend to form over islands, creating a stationary, greenish-tinged cloud on the horizon that was a dead giveaway for land. And they watched the birds. Seabirds like the frigatebird or the tern fly out to fish during the day, but must return to land at night. Spotting a flock of these birds heading in a specific direction at sunset was like seeing a giant, feathered arrow pointing toward home. They wove together swells, stars, wind, clouds, and wildlife into a complex, multi-layered system of information. It was a cognitive and sensory achievement that is hard for us to even comprehend today. So let's bring it back to our modern radar. A radar system sends out a pulse and waits for a return signal. It's a binary yes or no system. Is there something there or not? It's powerful, but it's also rigid. The Polynesian Wayfinder, on the other hand, was processing a continuous stream of analog data from dozens of sources simultaneously. They weren't just looking for a single signal. They were interpreting a symphony of natural patterns. The feeling of the swell, the position of a star, the color of a cloud, the flight path of a bird, all of these were cross-referenced in their mind. This is why their system was so robust. If one signal was weak or unavailable, like on a cloudy night, they had numerous others to rely on. Modern systems, by contrast, can suffer from what's called cascading failure. If the GPS signal is lost, many interconnected systems can go down with it. The ancient wayfinders had built-in redundancy, a network of knowledge that made them incredibly resilient. This isn't to say we should abandon modern technology and go back to navigating by feel, of course not. But the story of the Polynesian wayfinders offers us a profound lesson. It challenges our modern definition of technology. We tend to think of technology as something external, a machine, a computer, a piece of hardware. But the Polynesians show us that the most sophisticated technology can be a system of knowledge, passed down through generations and integrated so deeply that the human body itself becomes the primary instrument. They engineered their minds and senses to perceive the world in a way we've largely forgotten. They didn't just read the water's memory, they became a part of it. Their ability to find a tiny island from 1,000 miles away by feeling a faint echo in the ocean, Surtham, is something our best radars still can replicate. It's a lost signal, not from a satellite, but from our own human past. The legacy of these master navigators is being revived today. People like Mo Pialug, a master navigator from the tiny island of Satawal, shared his knowledge with the world, sparking a renaissance in traditional voyaging. The Hokulea, a modern replica of a Polynesian voyaging canoe, has successfully sailed around the world using only these ancient techniques, proving their effectiveness to a new generation. These voyages are more than just historical reenactments. They are a powerful reminder that there are different ways of knowing, different ways of seeing the world. They teach us that sometimes the most powerful signals aren't digital, but natural, and the most advanced computer is the one we all carry inside our own heads. It makes you wonder, what other lost signals from our ancestors are waiting to be rediscovered? What other forms of biological engineering have we forgotten in our rush for digital perfection? The ocean keeps its memories, and if we listen closely enough, we might just hear them. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey into the world of Polynesian wayfinding. It's a story that truly blows my mind every time I think about it. If you found this as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the incredible stories from our past. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What other amazing feats of ancient knowledge should we explore next? Until next time, stay curious.